Yo, yo, yo. Hey, this video is coming out late. I'm feeling a little better. Earlier, I tried to make a video, and I kept having to, pause because I got, allergies or something really bad. I don't know. Something in the weather. Something with the weather. What's the phrase? Oh, something in the air. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to take a quick look at the market. I'm going to make it super brief here, because honestly, I don't really feel like doing this, but I know that we've been doing some great things here, so I just want to keep the ball rolling. So if you are enjoying the content, make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. If you're looking at SPY here, today on Twitter, we were bullish pretty much throughout the day. Once we saw the shift in futures coming into the morning session, I saw that sell off and I was like, dude, we're about to run. So we were super pumped about that because we knew that we were supposed to be pushing up into this sort of 380 region. Let's see. Well, no, so we were going to push into this 376 region. We knew for sure if we were able to get over this 6.5, which is 374.36, because we know that the 707 is a damn magnet in this market. Now, once we got across this 707 and we confirmed it as support, we called for continuation to the rally, which is what we got. And if you see here, you actually get rejected perfectly off of this 707 that you have here. So what are we looking for now? Well, if you go over to the ES1 chart, you can see that in a way you've confirmed above the midline, which is what we've been watching. And we've said if you break above, right? You break above, you come back and retest, and then you create a new high, you are bullish. And that's what you've done. It didn't happen exactly how we were projecting it to happen, but in a sense, it sort of did, right? What it did was we were looking for a more accumulative structure to develop along this red downtrend. And that's actually what you ended up having, right? Because we were calling for this to get reversed down because it looked distributive. But alternatively, right? Kind of not we weren't really seeing it as it was happening, but you see you did develop this sort of carrying rounded bottom sort of structure. And you also got to this key 707 that we were looking for, right? So you broke below the trend line in the manner that we weren't really projecting, but you hit your level, you got support, and you got back above this trend line, and you held it as support. You're going to have a rally. I mean, and so the market structure looks pretty good. Now, I am expecting you to have somewhat of a pullback in all honesty, but I'm expecting it to be more choppy. And I know, and the weird thing is, because for those of you who are new to the channel, we don't really pay attention to fundamentals at all. The only fundamental, I tweeted this earlier, the only fundamentals that I see are what I see in passing on Twitter. I don't go out seeking news or anything like that. But I do know that this week there's a bunch of big name earnings calls. But what's funny about that is I'm pretty much looking for chop in this zone, which doesn't fundamentally align with a bunch of earnings calls. So I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to play out. But I'm more expecting you to have this sort of base forming above the midline rather than just a rapid continuation, and definitely less expecting a breakdown. Now, if you break below the midline again and you confirm underneath it, that's pretty bad. And you would be saying now that you would be coming to test this 707, in my opinion, because you would invalidate this support move that you had down here, which would bring ES1 all the way down to 35.94. So we're going to be on the lookout for that. I think it's, I mean, you look distribution-y up here locally. So it's going to be really important to me, in my opinion. It's going to be really important that you find support on this midline for bulls. I'm not really biased. I don't really care. If you come back and test here and you make a new high again, you're running hard. So that would be really cool for bulls if that's what occurred. Because if you break back above this 38.24 after you retest this midline, I mean you're going up like fast. Like I'm talking about like $405 SPY within a month, probably really a few weeks. And the way that we would sort of find that is really I'd be pulling the fib from here and looking for that 707, right? So 405 on SPY. And you'll also have a pretty nasty correlation. I think we covered this in a video already, or maybe I shared it with Josh or something. But yeah, you'd be looking for this sort of price action here, and then we'll see where we get from there. But that would be if you confirmed above the midline. It would be hard to argue against that occurring. In my opinion, not a financial advisor. Simba has joined the party. You know that we found Simba. He was come here. He's an evil little guy, but he likes me. We found him. My fiance was driving, and she saw a little cat. I mean, Simba was like tiny, dude. Like, like whole body in the palm of my hand, and I'm not a big guy, so like really small. And you know what they say about small hands. Anyway, she stops to get him, and then she couldn't find him. She's like, she pulls over on the side of the road. You know, it's one of those situations you're like, oh, where'd the cat go? You know, blah blah blah. She was gonna pick him up, and she comes home and she's telling me, she's like, I saw this tiny cat, but I couldn't find him. You know, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay. I go out to the car and I hear, meow. I'm like, what the? Simba was riding in the wheel well of her car. Don't know how he got there. Don't know how it happened, but kind of seemed like destiny, you know. So that day we got a cat. That was a couple years ago now. He's an evil little guy. Probably some trauma because of that instance. But we love him. All right, so yeah. In summary, I'm expecting a pullback. You're at a pretty good couple resistance points here. I don't think it's going to be major. I think that you're really going to be testing the waters. Ooh, it looks like you could have a little green happen in futures here and pop up to this 38.32 overnight. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, you got a little space here on futures. But then after that, I'm expecting a little bit of a pullback. So maybe like I mean, the way that we would try to find a correlation here is we would draw a fib here for this new range, and then well, I guess you would really draw it up here. So this is another thing that we've been messing around with. We, as in me. I'm just one guy doing this by myself, nerdy guy with a mustache that sits here and talks to himself, but kind of people. But yeah, so we would draw. We're assuming that you're gonna have a run up to this. Let's just say 786, just for example here. So we'll draw the fib up to that 786, even though you haven't gotten there, and then we're looking for a correlation with a key trend, right? Oh, man, these allergies are killing me. But so you see here that this looks spicy, dude. No way. They're not going to do it. Would you pop up overnight and then have this sort of crazy move? What is... Is this what hour is this? Let's see. So that would be your overnight. When did market close? At the 15, right? Yep. So, huh. Oh, yeah. So maybe you come down here, have a big sell off into 2. How big of a sell off is this? There's no way, dude. So, this projection would be a really green futures and then a 1.7% drop during the day tomorrow. That would be weird, wouldn't it? We've seen stranger things happen, haven't we? But it looks to, it looks like a distribution-y sort of move. You have a sign of weakness down here. This is kind of like a buy climax sort of moment that you have here. And then an up thrust, perhaps, or like a sell test sort of move. And then, so I think that you probably... What is this? What is this local fib here? We're just doing a little real-time stuff. I really need to do better with these videos, with being more structured. I'm sorry about that, because we're kind of all over the place. I know some of you guys really like that, but I just feel like it would be more effective if we were a little bit more planned out. I'm my biggest critic. You could run down to 3,800. I kind of like this structure to just push up and make people really bullish first, and then I'm pretty bearish going in tomorrow, and then after that we'll see. I don't really care. Just follow me on Twitter, and I'll update you on my feelings. But I think you could have a green future session here. Makes sense with those fibs, and then a pullback during the day tomorrow, and then you could have a really good earnings something happen tomorrow or something. Who's got earnings? Let me go see if I can find the little earnings calendar for the week. I know it's there. Okay. So after close, so you got Coca-Cola before open, GM, UPS, not really any big players, but then you have Alphabet, Microsoft. So ugly day, and then it kind of hangs in the balance with Microsoft and Google. Wow. Let's go take a look at Microsoft and Google's local. I haven't looked at Microsoft's chart in forever, so we'll just take a brief look at it just to try and gauge where we feel what we feel about it. I'm sure it's not too different from SPY. I mean, it looks pretty good. This is a pretty good. This looks bottomy, man. I mean, at least locally, it looks like you wanna push up. I mean, it's not like not a whole market bottom is not what I'm calling for here, but I'm saying like this looks like you want to push up, but I do want to say this too, okay? And this is a little conspiratorial, and it's a little weird. I mean, I think you have a good earnings, and it's not great, but just like hey, the world's not ending kind of earnings for Microsoft tomorrow, and then that kind of carries the market. But what I was gonna say is, I've been looking at this '08 fractal, and I know I've made fun of people for the '08 fractals for a while, but at this point in the game, it is getting pretty interesting. How the price action has been lining up on a little bit higher time frames. Let's see. So you pull a bars pattern, and we're just gonna do this roughly. We're not doing anything crazy here. And then you reshape it just slightly here. Let's see. Here, and then we'll make it tighter here, I believe. And then we go like this. Shouldn't have done this in real time. Again, should have planned better. All right, and then so let me make this a little bit easier to see. Oh. And so this is just something that we're sort of watching, okay? But it is kind of in an interesting place, because you've had a pretty heavy correlation over the course of the past few months on this, okay? Like it is getting to pretty strange territory, and I know a lot of this chart trades really similarly to itself, right? So like the SPY chart is just this kind of like, or SPX is just kind of this like rolling, endless sort of bull market. You know what I'm saying? But, and hold on, I mean, you guys see what I'm talking about. So just, I mean, to be honest with you, if we just fractalize this part, so let's just do this part just for the purpose of the video, because I want to show you guys how it correlates with the midline that we've been watching, because it's kind of weird. Because what it does is it actually takes my idea of the damn, bro, this shit is kicking my ass. I should have planned the video better. It takes my idea of the confirmation over the midline. Let's just give me a break, okay? Just pretend like this back here isn't happening. You get what I'm saying. But it kind of makes it seem like what would happen is you have this midline that would be this fundamentally bullish sort of moment because you're breaking above, you're making new highs, but then what you do is you start to weaken and you chop, right? You have this choppy sort of up and down price action where bulls are like, hey, why aren't we making higher highs, whatever, and then boom, you break that back down below. Remember, that's kind of the situation that we talked about earlier, right? You break back below this line, and then that's bad. And then that's your kind of setup. So, look, I'm not trading this. Like, I'm not sitting here looking at this fractal like, dude, I'm buying frickin' what is this, $1,600 puts for April 2023. But what I am doing is I'm kind of like, I got it kind of in the background. I'm peeping at it every at this stage because it's pretty good correlation. And we can make a video that's really dedicated to this or whatever, but you see the general structure of the market, right? You see how similar I could make it if I wanted to. So yeah, I mean, like I said, if you failed back below the midline, that would be pretty bearish. Well, this is pretty bearish, right? So it's just something that we're going to be watching just in the background. I mean, what harm could it do? Just paying attention. But anyway, so that's the video. I know we kind of lollygagged a little bit. I'm feeling better, so that's good. Yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed that video. We're going to be, I'm literally not going to listen to the call. I'm not going to look at the report from the Microsoft or Google earnings calls. Looking for some red tomorrow. And then, we'll play a market how we see it, If you get that nice bullish accumulative structure after you get your little sell-off, then maybe we have some good earnings calls. If it kind of stays high in the range, might be some bad earnings calls. Who knows? All right. Have a good rest of your day. Peace. You used to call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone. Do, do, do. Late night when you need my love. And I know when that market crash, that can only mean one thing. I could have said something about cash, but it felt kind of corny. I know when that market crash. Ever since I left the city, you. Have a good night.